Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we have a mission to wake the world up to what's possible. And here today to help me with that mission is one of the most amazing author experts of a new book that we have coming out. This one is called Love Warriors, the Conscious Expert's Guide to Healing, Joy, and Manifestation. Carolyn McGee, welcome. How are you doing today?
I am fabulous, and I love our conversations. I'm really excited for this.
Oh my gosh, me too. This is like the best subject ever. And Carolyn and I have been rolling in the same circle for a while now. So I'm so honored and grateful that you're here with me again for this project. You guys, Carolyn McGee helps women break lifelong patterns of how they show up and understand the relationship to themselves, others, money, and spirit by trusting their intuition. Carolyn is the intuition queen, y'all. And this is going to be a really awesome conversation. So, Carolyn, thanks for being willing to share your story in the book, and also for the incredible master teachings that are in there too. You guys, this book is full of awareness practices like Carolyn's that are going to transform your life. So share a little bit about your chapter with us, would you?
Sure. So I'm in chapter 10, The Journey to Authentic Love. How we show up for one is how we show up for all. And this means that we've got energetic systems and patterns that sometimes we're not even aware of that are truly driving our decisions. We can't make clear decisions and really authentically step into love if we've got this underlying expectation or pattern that's not serving us. Real short example. For example, if you with your friends, you pull them in close and you push them away, you probably bring money in and then it just automatically goes out of your life. So there's a parallel in the way you treat relationships. And that's what I work on to clear for people.
I love your title because I get it. And I think it's important. Like, how you're showing up is how you're showing up. Like
Right.
In the big sense of the word. So it made me think about all of the places and ask that big question. And I am a fan of those big questions that sort of, wake you up. Right. So tell me a little bit more about that showing up. Like what, we want to show up, or maybe you've seen themes in the people that you've worked with. How? What are they looking to feel?
So people are looking to show up more authentically. A lot of the people that I work with are people who are trying to start a business, or they're trying to grow a business within a smaller corporation. And they're afraid to speak their truth. They've been conditioned or maybe even shamed into not showing up as who they are at their core. So they show up in the way they've been trained, those patterns that are created in our energetic system. So they may step out and then not show up fully, show up for an interview, but not be prepared. They might go to do a talk someplace and lose their notes on the way there. The car accidents that people have, they're energetically not present when they're on their way someplace to show up in a bigger manner. So there's just this underlying pattern of sabotaging themselves as they're trying to become more authentic, more vulnerable, and show up in the world.
Well, you said something just now about being in the car that made me think about present moment awareness and how important that is. I mean, for safe driving, yeah. But,
Yeah.
but basically for life and knowing what you want and how to get it, right? You gotta be here now in your body. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so there's a reason they call it the present. We need to be in this moment. If we're constantly worrying about the past, thinking about the past, that can bring in depression because we're setting expectations on what the future is going to be like based on something in the past, which may or may not be relevant, especially if you've done a lot of healing work to release those patterns. And then the people who are focused and really energized around the future, they're not living in the present either. You know, that's the anxiety component. And so much of society now weaves or, you know, bounces back and forth between depression and anxiety because they're never here. And this is where we make decisions. This is where we receive the divine guidance. This is where we get clarity. It was right here in this moment.
Yeah, I was scribbling down some notes as you were talking, and I'm going to kind of rewind there for the listeners. You know, if your mind is always focused on past events, you can bring on depression when you're doing that. So break the cycle, right? Take a deep breath, be here now. We're not in that moment that already happened in the past. And then Carolyn talked about the future. If your mind is always like, what's next? What if this happens? I don't know how it's going to go, you know, and then you can feel it in my voice as I describe it to you, the anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the only place anything good is going to really happen is here, especially listening to your intuition.
Yes, absolutely. You cannot feel your intuition. You know, a lot of times, you know, people talk about divine downloads. That's in your head. To be able to really take it out and bring it into action and trust what you're doing, you've got to bring it into your body. You know, people forget that we've got 7 energetic systems. You know, it's not just the crown chakra. It's just not, you know, receiving those intuitive hits through the third eye. It's bringing in so we can speak it, you know, our hearts so that we can share, our bodies so we can take the action. And all of that is so critical.
And I think a lot of what you're talking about is the mark of a love warrior. So, you know, when I came up with this idea for the book, I knew that part of the definition for me was about showing up in the world, knowing that my vulnerability was one of my strengths. So why are you a love warrior, Carolyn? What's it mean to you?
For me, being a love warrior is being myself. You know, I think we all have internal battles. We all have questions about life, but it's overcoming that fear, overcoming the judgment that we put on ourselves, or perhaps other people put on us, to show up every day, to show up as me, and to be consistent in showing up. You know, one of the things that I wrote in the chapter was about stepping out into social media and then pulling back in because I got afraid. So being a love warrior is showing up consistently, whether it's for me, it's for my loved ones, my clients, or people who don't even know me, but just might randomly watch this YouTube video.
Yes.
It's showing up.
Yep. Oh my gosh. I think, you know, 90% of a great life is showing up, period. You know?
Right. But when you're in that depression, it's hard to show up because you're not living here.
Yes. Or the anxiety or the fear. And we're just, we have it coming at us in all kinds of different ways. I think that part of the thing that I want to help people wake up to is a lot of that is going on in your mind and your thoughts. And you know, again, I know we keep repeating about coming back here to the present moment in your body, clearing that mind. And that's going to be an opportunity for you to move from the fear thought and then choose. With awareness, you get the choice. Well, we choose love, right? Our love warriors choose love.
Right.
So, Carolyn, you are up to a lot other than writing a chapter for Love Warriors. Tell us a little bit about what you have going on right now.
Sure. I also have a series of workshops offered through the Wellness Universe. It is a monthly class called the 12 Keys to Connection. If you missed a month, you can go back and listen to the recording, and it goes through all the different ways that we can more powerfully connect to our hearts, to be authentic and show up.
Awesome. So well, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you have a community on Facebook as well?
Yes, I do. Thank you for that. So
Yeah.
I was the lead author of Inspired Living: Superpowers for Health, Love, and Business. And we have a community called Inspired Living Superpowers. It is a public community open to everyone, and the authors show up there to share their stories, what's new with them, and answer questions. It's a fun community.
I'll show and tell your book really quick for you then. All
Thank
right, you
you.
guys. So like, and I'm so grateful to you just for being in my world and, for putting these beautiful words out into the world and for being part of this mission of mine, really, to change the world with these brave words. And Carolyn's community is, part of that mission. Like we want you all to be able to come somewhere after you read and ask questions, all of that good stuff. And honestly, the biggest mission here with every Brave Healer Productions book, you guys, is to help you live an extraordinary life. So no matter where you are on your journey, the books are going to help you answer that question, what else is possible? So Carolyn, for our listeners, what's a simple stepping stone that you'd like to share with them to help them start their journey? What do you want them to know today?
One of the things that I always love to teach is that your heart is the most intuitive muscle. And if you filter every thought through your heart, you're going to get, it's a good for you, it's not good for you. What that thought was is true or it's false. So your heart is either going to expand or contract. It's a barometer of truth. Use it. There's so much power that we give to our heads instead of embodying in our hearts.
Yeah, your heart is a barometer for your truth.
Yeah.
That is huge and powerful, you guys. I think I know we've been taught to use this over this.
Right.
And it's both, but
Right.
we need to come down in here a little more often, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, we receive, right? Whether you're receiving the logical information or the spiritual, we receive, but we need to filter it through before we take the action on it or before we speak it, so that we can be authentic and then invite other people to speak their truth. Wouldn't the world be so much more interesting that way?
It would, no doubt. Carolyn, thank you so much for what you do in the world, and thanks for being here today to share it with us.
You are welcome. My pleasure.
All right, you guys. So I know something Carolyn said probably made you curious, gave you a little goosebumps. Maybe you have a question or you need some support. So scroll on down to the show notes because you'll be able to connect with Carolyn on her website there. She's very generously there for you to help you take those next steps. Check out all of the amazing things that she is up to. One of the missions here is to give you the experts and the community you need for the healing, joy, and manifesting that amazing life. So you're also invited to our self-healing book club on Facebook. I have the link below for you. You can continue these conversations with our authors there. And of course, join us for our live stream book launch party for Love Warriors. That's going to be January 6th of 23. Oh my gosh, can't believe I'm talking about 23. It's going to be on the Brave Healer Productions Facebook page. I've linked you up down below. And I'm going to be chatting with all of our co-authors for Love Warriors. They're going to share their wisdom and inspiration with you. And of course, if you're listening after the date, you can hop to Amazon because our book will be ready for your purchase. Carolyn, any last words for our viewers?
Just to follow your heart. Really follow your heart. And I don't mean your heart in that lovesick way. I mean your heart, your true authentic self. Believe it, trust it, and take action.
Yes. Aligned action.
Aligned action. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Thanks,
Thank
Carolyn.
you.
All right, you guys. Lastly today, here's the call to action. Remember, your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So if you're ready to be one of the next Brave Healer Productions best-selling authors, come find me at bravehealer.com. It is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone. Thanks, Carolyn.
Bye-bye.